you very much for a really kind introduction, Stefano. It's a pleasure to be here again. I studied here at Twente University. I've been here a few times this year because Twente University is the science and education partner of Mars One. So pleasure to be back, and I remember actually in this exact room during my introduction there was a performance of Bohemian Rhapsody, the song by Queen, by one person. I don't know if you can imagine that, but that's my memory for this room. So I'll try to do almost as good as that. Can you start my slides, please? So Mars One. I've started Mars One together with Arno Wilders. Many of you probably know a thing or two about it already. And our goal is to get humans to Mars as quickly as possible. And we started doing that a little bit differently than other organizations that are talking about missions to Mars. What other organizations often do is say, okay, what would we like to have on Mars? And picture actually the dream that Stefano was talking about, so big habitats and big greenhouses and a lot of things, pressurized rovers going all over the planet. And then you come up with a design that's really difficult. And what we did it the other way around. And we started by looking at what technology is available that looks like we might be able to use it for this mission. And we started actually designing our mission to Mars by taking all these existing puzzle pieces and puzzling together a human mission to Mars using only these bits and pieces. Next slide, please. So what do you need to go to Mars? You need to get off the Earth, you have to fly to Mars, you have to land on Mars, and you have to keep humans alive on Mars. And what we've done is made, especially because we are talking about permanent settlement, which means that you don't have to take care of the return journey. This means that the rockets, next slide please, the rockets that you need to get off the Earth that are currently existing are big enough to do this. And next slide, the systems we need to keep humans alive on the trip to Mars are roughly the same as what they use in the International Space Station. The astronauts stay there for 6 months. We will be underway for 7 months, so it's very comparable for instance, bone loss and muscle loss. And we don't have the problem of a return journey for the bone loss and the muscle loss, because we're going to stay on Mars. And next please. Again, because of the permanent settlement, we don't need very big landing systems. And NASA is talking about landing 50 tons to the surface, and we are talking about 2.5 metric tons. So a factor of 20 less that we need to land on the surface compared to a mission where you need to return. And this is possible with the existing technology. So with Viking-based technology that was used in the 70s, we can land everything we need on Mars. And finally, we have the technology, next slide please, to keep people alive on Mars. It's actually a little bit easier to keep humans alive on Mars than it is to keep them alive in space, because there's gravity, so your pumps work in the normal way. There's resources, there's nitrogen, there's water on Mars, so there is the technology to keep humans alive on Mars. And we puzzle together our mission using only blocks of existing technology. And next slide, this block is one that we have eliminated from the start. Actually, Arno and I started Mars One 2.5 years ago, but I started thinking about this right here at this campus when I was about 20 years old, and immediately it was always my plan to exclude the return mission. Why would you want to go back? It's so inefficient, and there's so many people like myself who would like to go to Mars for the rest of their lives. And so why would you include the return mission? It's a holiday compared to living, which means that if you have a visit, you spend a lot more money, you have to develop all these technologies, and it's astronauts on Mars that only stay there for 1 year to work, while people that we send to Mars will work there the rest of their lives. So it's just so much more efficient. So next slide please. Mars, why? Why do we want to go to Mars? As Stefano said it already, it's the stuff of dreams. Is it even possible? Well, it is possible, and we're in Holland, and humans are actually not native to Holland. Humans are native to the west of Africa. And if you take away all our technology, our clothes, our houses, our transportation, our means of communication, if you take that all away, we couldn't survive here. I'm sure that most of us wouldn't survive one night here in Holland. This night, then we wouldn't survive this November night in Holland if we take all the technology that we have away. There's no case here. I don't know if I can make a fire without matches. That's all technology. And humans have always spread over the earth to where that technology just allows them to go. Not easily. Humans would go to places where it's just possible to survive, because then they were in a new place, they could develop new things, and there they developed the things that they needed to survive in a comfortable way, like we are doing now here in Holland. And it will be the same for Mars. When our first crew goes to Mars, it will be tough. And we're still investigating if there will be showers the first 2 years. We don't know yet. But you can survive without a shower. I mean, I was cycling in the west of China 2 years ago, and most people don't have a shower there. That's not essential for life. And there will be a lot of things that the first crews on Mars won't have, that we consider very normal. But is that a reason not to go? Well, not for the people who want to go. And these are the explorers. So next slide, please. What does our plan look like? I'll go through it a little bit quickly, because I think most of you already know most of the steps. Arno and I started Mars 1 in 2011, basically with a dream. And we started puzzling it together with existing puzzle pieces, but what we thought were existing puzzle pieces, with these system designs, we contacted aerospace companies from around the world, and we asked them, okay, we have a plan for a mission to Mars, and for the inflatable guys, we have this type of inflatable system in mind. Can you build it? And for the life support guys, we said, we have this in mind. Can you build that? And in this way, we contacted at least one aerospace supplier for every component that we need: the rockets, the rover, etc. And with the feedback that we got, we made sure that our design is feasible. Next slide, please. Then we took about a year to get that all together, to get a good advisory board, to make sure that people see not just a young team, but also people with good credentials that say, hey, we support this. And we launched our website in 2012, and finally our astronaut application process in 2013 in April. And we closed it last August, and we had more than 200,000 people who applied. And that was really, for us, so amazing that people from all over the world, from more than 140 different countries, actually apply for our mission to Mars. That's just very humbling and very exciting at the same time. Can I ask, who of you applied for the Mars mission? Oh, there's really a lot of the audience. I usually ask actually who would go on a one-way trip to Mars. Is there anyone here who didn't apply yet who would still be interested in going? Great. So, in many audiences where I speak, when I tell them that there's no return mission, it's ooh in the audience. You know, you hear some laughing and some scared people, and that's very logical, because I believe that, as Stefano said, people have always explored for permanent settlement to never return. But when these explorers, when the people who went to Australia and to the US and to Canada, when they left Europe, there were probably a lot of people who said, are you crazy? And things are so well arranged here in Europe. Why would you go to Australia, where things are so far behind us? Yes, technology, different conditions are worse. But people want to do this. These are explorers, and you can't stop them. And that's also what I believe drives the people who apply for the Mars 1 mission. They know that they cannot return, but it doesn't matter. Also for me, I know that I'm not one of the qualified guys for the first crew. I just had a baby, so this is really not the right time for me to leave, but I still feel very strongly for going to Mars, and I hope to convince my girlfriend and go there one day. It will be very difficult, by the way, to convince my girlfriend, but I will keep trying. Next slide. So, in 2015 we will finish the crew selection, so we'll end up with about 6 groups of 4 people. By the way, we'll repeat the selection procedure regularly, so we'll keep adding more people after that. But the first groups of 4 will go full-time into training in 2015, and they will train in a copy of the Mars settlement here on Earth under Martian conditions. So we'll try to, hey Patrick, I didn't see you yet. We'll try to duplicate that as good as possible.